carries. He had an exceptional recent Xayah performance. His Aphelios, obviously, as well, incredibly strong. Usually playing on the weak side, but when they get to the later stages of the game, they really dominate. Let's get into the draft, though. As RNG, you could see on the blue side, starts off banning out the Graves, which it's been a while since I saw a Graves banned actor.
It's a Meteor special. Like, Meteor just plays this champion all the damn time. He's got 8 games of it so far in the LPL and is by far his favorite champion. So I'm not overly surprised to see it. Also, the Zoe ban from RNG. This is obviously a good one towards Zika, but it's also banned in 92% of their games. Like, the RNG game plan is get a shove mid so Brian can go and roam. So a champion like Zoe that just auto gets that priority needs to be gone in pretty much every RNG draft.
Yeah, when you think about last year's BLG Gaming matchups, the highlight moments are all with Zika on that Zoe. It's very much a special pick for him. Meteor going to go for the Olaf as his first lock-in, and a Thresh to follow that one up as well. So maybe leaning towards an Aphelios for Zika on this final pick. Over to the side of RNG, what are you expecting?
Okay, so
it's already been
Pantheon for away. So I love Pantheon. Pantheon right now in the LPL has a 78% win rate, but I love it specifically for Wei because this guy made his name on these early aggressive junglers, and Pantheon fits so well into that wheelhouse. So expect him to start on the bottom side of the map, clear towards this top side, and heavily ganked towards Xiaohu in this top lane. So now I'm starting to think for Xiaohu, I'm looking at champions like the Lucian, even the Gnar if they can get in a good matchup. These kind of picks where he's going to be able to exploit that top side of the map and have a lot of damage to follow up on these ganks, but also start chipping away at these turrets and snowballing that lead.
Right, well, the bans from BLG are not going towards Xiaohu. They're going towards this bottom lane, trying to stop Ming being able to do too much alongside the Kai'Sa with this Leona ban. Gangplank has been banned away, which usually you'd lean towards something like a Gnar or a Renekton if you were trying to pick the Gangplank. So Renekton's already banned, maybe leaning towards RNG going for that Gnar that you know.
The Gnar, I think, is the one here. On BLG side, clearly they're worried about this bottom lane. Early picking the Thresh when Thresh is very much down the priority list, but also banning away a lot of these other strong supports that can try and go into this Thresh, I think is a good call. And I'll be curious to see now if Meteor is going to try and play pretty heavily around this bot side and just kind of leave BLG to his own devices. Because honestly, with the Thresh and the Aphelios, you're not going to have a huge amount of pressure on this Dragon to try and start those snowballs for yourself as Meteor. So he'll need to try and have ganks into this bottom lane to set them up for success. Now, a way of doing that is to pair it with something like the Twisted Fate in the mid lane so you can get this 4-man bot and turn that into dragons and start to get your lead snowball.
So it looks like BLG are going to opt into getting their mid laner. The Syndra is the final lock-in in the end. Once again, win rate not looking too good for the Syndra. Let's see where RNG go with this top lane, though. As we mentioned, the Gnar definitely jumping out as a highlight, but set locked in, you'd expect that, I guess, to be support for Ming.
Yeah, Set does very well against the Aphelios. Very, very well against the Aphelios because you can flash, burn that summoner spell early, and then rinse and repeat. And there's the Gnar that we were looking for as well. I mean, dead giveaway with the Gangplank and the Jace bans. So now as BLG, you're kind of like, oh god, what the hell do I do here? Because unless you go for something like the Ornn, maybe, or just full tank and just accept that you're going to take a beating. But you can still set up for these early plays from RNG topside with Xiaohu pushing in these waves, allowing for Wei to go for this third wave dive. And there's not really very much that you can do here on BLG unless Meteor matches the clear and makes sure that he's keeping BLG safe in the early stages.
So I don't think this is on the screen for the English viewers, but there was a fan vote on the bottom of the screen from the Chinese side. And the fan vote is 99.5% in favor of RNG. That is as brutal as it gets, honestly. I'm pretty sure it only goes in 0.5% integers. Yeah, definitely RNG, a favorite coming into this one. And compositionally, I'd say certainly in the early game, a big favorite when it comes to being able to enact their will onto the map. BLG, though, a ton of scaling to work with that Ornn, with an Aphelios and a Syndra. Maybe can look towards late game win conditions.
Yeah, I think definitely when you're looking at the BLG side, it is trying to get aiming towards that late game. Again, we talked about aiming being the strong portion of BLG, being their late game carry. So the fact that they kind of just opted in to go, hey, we're going to go straight for this, makes the most amount of sense. The interesting part for me, though, is the two junglers, right? Because I feel like we're getting to see the perfect representation of what these two styles are. When we look at Meteor, this guy loves to play more around the farm orientated style, where he's looking to like keep up these insane stats that he has. Like, he's got the highest CS per minute of any jungler in the LPL right now. He's got the second highest CS difference per game, even though BLG are falling behind. Like, this guy is farming up a storm. Whereas we look over at Meteor, he's actually behind the CS at 15, but up gold at 15, and has the fourth highest damage to gold ratio of any jungler in the LPL. Like, he's much more about getting in your face, getting into these lanes, and trying to secure vision and control for Xiaohu on the top side of the map.
Yeah, the second bunch of stats obviously for Wei. You said Meteor for both sets of stats. So just to clarify,
Wei for the
second bunch of stats, it's all about Wei. He's all about the Gang Kid. And it's kind of crazy that Meteor is topping some of these statistical categories as a jungler in the farm categories when he's in the league with SOFM. SOFM literally he's notorious for how much the guy wants to farm. So Meteor being able to take those statistics is very much a testament to how strong he is as an individual player. But BLG certainly doing a little bit better than Suning in the standings, although actually with the result from this morning, I guess they are now tied in the standings at 3-3. BLG would love to turn this into their fourth win and push themselves up the standings just a little bit. They're currently in 7th place there. So we're going to see Wei starting on this top side of the map and actually pathing down towards the bottom lane.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see this. I assumed that we're going to get that like buff Gromp into a topside gank coming through from Wei. What this signifies to me, though, is that they're expecting Meteor to try and match this clear. As you can see, he's starting on the bottom side, and they don't want to go for some sort of 2v2 shenanigans in the early stage. Instead, Wei will clear towards bot side, try and play towards Ming and Gala, and then look to play towards Xiaohu later. This means for Ming, he needs to get this flash engage onto Aiming in the early stages to blow these summoner spells and set up for a gank later from Wei. So look at how aggressive Ming is playing this bottom lane. He knows what he's trying to do.
Wei takes a big chunk of damage, and just to reiterate something we said way earlier on, is Wei is brand new. This is his 23rd day as a professional player. He's played 2 games in the LDL on BLG's academy team literally this season, and he's been promoted to the main team. So we're not 100% sure why the substitution has happened over Mark, but we're keeping our eyes on Wei to see if there's some spice that can come out in that bottom lane. Maybe this is a new talent that's stepping into the ring. Maybe this is an emergency substitution. We're not sure, but I'm excited to see what Wei has.
And it's going to be a big test for him, especially when you're Aphelios into Thresh. Aphelios Thresh into Kai'Sa set. It's not a very fun lane. You're going to get pummeled. You're going to get flashed on. There's going to be so many things you have to avoid. So he will be tested in this first debut on the stage. And especially when you got Wei already moving down here, he's in trouble.
His first day has to go against the team that hasn't lost a series yet so far in the split, the first place team in the standings. Xiaohu, though, could be in trouble. Dodges away from the knockup. Here comes Meteor. Flash from Xiaohu will get slowed by the undertows. Meteor, I think, wants to go for the dive. Slow with the boomerang. Meteor respects it. Xiaohu survives. In goes Ming, though, with a facebreaker onto Jue. Flashes out, flays Ming in. But does have the haymaker available, so Aiming can't do too much to follow up on the play.
I actually like that heads-up play from Jue. He understood that where he's positioned, Wei wasn't going to be able to get in on top of him. There's no more CC that can really come through, so actually flays Ming in towards himself to allow more damage to land onto the set. So actually playing with a bit of confidence in this bottom lane, and I'm looking forward to seeing maybe if we get a bit more out of Jue, but avoiding that early gank is brilliant for BLG. They are looking to scale. They want this lane left alone. And if Wei can't have an impact in these early stages with this Pantheon, that's a lot of the power of this Pantheon pick already gone.
Aiming still has his flash as well. So in the next situation, expect Dre to play a little bit more passive and try and be the Lantern bot for his AD carry here. Because Aiming, realistically, he's the guy that BLG want to set up. He's the premier carry on this team. As Meteor moves towards the bottom side of the map. Looked like he was toying with the idea of going for a lane gank, but deciding it's time to just clear this Gromp. It's time to go through the jungle once more.
I think he's more so just trying to get a first reset here for Aiming Jue. Just making sure they can shove in. There's not going to be any pesky business, but top lane, Xiaohu.
Xiaohu getting some good damage onto Biu. I don't think there's much opportunity for a kill here. I seriously doubt Xiaohu can dive at this point in the game. Not level 6 just yet. But I say that with Wei moving up, he's also not level 6. Can't just go for the ult slam and get in there. Was spotted on a ward as well. So Wei just going to return towards the bottom side and continue clearing his own job.
You can tell how much attention both these sides are putting towards the jungle. Like, Wei gets that cheeky ward in to spot out where Wei is going to be, and then where Meteor's going to be. Meteor then has Biu pop the ward into the top side of the jungle to make sure they're all fine and they can spot out where Wei is. It's super nice and is giving time to BLG where they're not getting caught out in these lanes. And they have the time to get to the late game where, I mean, look, you got Aphelios, you got Ornn, the two mega scaling champions. You're in prime spot as long as absolutely nothing happens in the early game for BLG.
They would love for as quiet of a game as possible. Whether RNG allow that or not is a different question, though. I will say Xiaohu's gone for a cult, which is usually indicative of a lane where you want to be farming a lot. So maybe BLG can have their way. One of the big things that RNG have shone in, though, is the team fighting. So hang on. I'm going to pause on that thought because Wei is stacking up his passive. They want to go onto aiming here, but Jue will do because he doesn't have summoner spells up in an instant. First blood there as Wei just eradicates Jue.
And there's little you can do there as Jue. We said it already that RNG's goal was to burn those summoner spells to allow Wei to go for these ganks. You get the double CC setup and you're going to die. Whether it's aiming or Jue, they don't care as long as they're getting that early gold. Now, does mean, on that top side that you got to back away.
Going in the mid lane here. Zika taking a lot of damage. A couple more Qs to do the trick. Zika gets underneath this tower. Cryan wants to push this one home. Tonic keeping Zika safe here. In the meantime, Xiaohu's forced away. Call of the Forge God underneath the tower. Xiaohu's still not level 6 just here. Trying to go for the dive. It is going to be Biu tanking the tower. I think he flashed to get tower aggro there, but Meteor couldn't follow up.
Ooh. Yeah, that's very confusing and very messy from BLG's top side. I know that they were trying to make something happen because that dragon was going across on the bottom side, but that ain't it. You don't just flash into a tower. I don't like the idea. I don't like the execution. I think you needed an entirely new playbook. It's just that was never going to work. Now you're giving away your bot side jungle as well to Wei, who's figured out, hey, you're top side. I ain't got to worry about this. So they split the map. You're giving more pressure over towards Gal and Ming getting this bottom side. You had a nice back for Cryan in the mid lane as well, who managed to shove in that wave. Like, that was pretty damn clean from RNG.
Yeah, nicely done by RNG. Not so much from this side of BLG, but you know what? It looked good. Well, no, it didn't look good. I don't have anything positive to say about the play. I'm trying to find some silver linings in BLG. It was a little disjointed. That's how I'll soften the blow. But hey, we've got room for improvement. That's what we're looking for here. BLG, middle of the table team, and very much an underdog coming into this series against RNG. But it does feel like with plays like that, maybe getting a little bit nervous coming into this one. The amount of pressure has been given up towards this top side onto Xiaohu. He's down in CS, but he's not died yet. And that's bad news for BLG.
There's not much that you can kind of look at for BLG to say, hey, look, this is going to go great. I was hoping that in the early stages, maybe we'll see Meteor try and play towards the spot side. Maybe we can have Zika push in and try and roam down as well. But with the amount of attention that Meteor has put up top, he's not actually able to stack these dragons. He's not going to be able to deny them away from RNG. And as long as RNG are stacking up these early objectives, they can force BLG into fights before they're really in a comfortable spot. So expect, as you can see again, RNG to just snowball uncontrollably off of all these objectives before BLG are really in a position to contest.
They're all going to be started here. RNG, the ones on the scene as Meteor tries to make his way in. Gala's fairly lonely, actually. I feel like Meteor maybe could have just run at him at that point, but RNG going to be able to regroup as a 5 now. Look towards this Herald, getting the eye, getting the smite. This will be Herald taken. Wei steps away to dodge the hook before going for the eye of the Herald. Perfectly done here by RNG. Very nice stuff. And it means that BLG, all they get is 6 minions under the mid-wave tower.
Oh, God. Yeah, I have a feeling that this is going to start to run away from BLG.
That sigh from Dr. just there, it says it all of how Dr. feels about this series.
Yeah, so look, what I wanted to see coming in from here, right, was BLG going, right, Wei is going to path towards top. Now, he didn't smart call from Wei. This is why I really like this jungler. He's the jungler I'm most excited about. But taking that aside, if you're able to play a little bit more aggressive towards this bottom lane, get the likes of Jue into a spot where, okay, we can get some plays onto Gala, start to push in this wave, use the pressure Zika has in mid, and start to create some of these dragon opportunities for ourselves. We can deny this ticking time bomb that is that 3rd and 4th dragon and push that right the way back so we get 3 items on towards aiming. Bubu hits the level 14, is tossing ornaments all around the place. That hasn't happened right now, though. Instead, Meteor's been trying to make plays up towards the top side to make sure that Xiaohu isn't getting ahead, but so what? Getting your Olaf ahead or getting this Ornn ahead isn't going to do anything. Xiaohu is still going to be in a great spot regardless because he's gone this cool build. He's just farming up. He's basically going to get a kill out of the gold from that item as well. So what? Why does it matter? You instead need to be focused around this bottom side. Need to focus around aiming. But this is a constant problem with BLG where they are trying to set up this bot lane for success, or at least should be setting this bot lane up for success, and they're not really giving them the resources to do so.
Yeah, not so far at least. And, you know, we talked about the 20 CS lead that Bubu had over Xiaohu just a couple of minutes ago. Well, that CS lead is gone. Xiaohu's able to slam a massive minion wave underneath the top tower very recently, and Bubu didn't have his TP available, so just had to waddle back to the lane. Now BLG trying to set up for this Drake is up in 20 seconds. BLG with this scaling composition, is this something that they can fight RNG for now?
Not a hope. You've already got this rated dirt completed from Kaisa, so that lethality is going to do great against pretty much everyone on BLG right now. You've also just got so much CC on RNG side, plus the damage from Wei, the burst from Gala.
Here we go, Jue forcing a fight onto Ming here, has a blast cone. Haymaker will be available if he needs the shield, but he's going to hold on to the cooldown for now. That's a nice little pick to at least find some presence in the area.
Nice job from Jue. And I mean, we said, look, this guy already now 2 heads-up plays where he's kind of like, hang on a second, catching Ming out, making sure that he's not able to enact his game plan as much.
Right, it's so aggressive. Now they go over towards Zika. Flash from Wei guarantees the kill. Ming having to use the Haymaker onto Jue. The Ignite not going to be enough, and it's 1 for 1 across the board here. Gala's already used Killer Instinct, so Jue will walk away with his life. Wei's going to drop the Herald in the mid lane, though.
And it looks like they'll be able to take this turret as well. Although, Meteor wants to see if he can try and answer, but he's just going to be pushed back.
That last plate is damn tanky, but I think they should be able to finish this one as well. He's just going to start the fight onto Meteor. They're chasing him away, but Moonlight Vigil out from aiming gets the root onto Wei. Slow follows up. They don't get a counter kill or anything as questionable TP. Okay, it's just Zika. He's just getting back to lane anyway. But ultimately, BLG stopped the tower going down, so still a positive.
It was just that they had to pull aiming up there. So if you look at that bottom wave, despite the fact that Ming was the one that got picked off,
Xiaohu might get comboed, flashes away from the knockup. If that knockup hits, auto W auto, that could have been a kill from Xiaohu onto Xiaohu there from Bubu. Nicely played on the Ornn. Now Dragon goes down. Wei gets the kill here as Jue looks for the hook, but he doesn't quite find it. He's going to be locked up, but it has a stopwatch. And now Wei's in trouble himself. Aiming is free-firing this entire time as the Haymaker comes down, and RNG winning out the fight here as Meteor now tries to escape for his life, running through the bottom lane, but he's slowed up. Ming looking for a face breaker, but he doesn't even need it as another kill goes the way of crying.
And I want to point out something really smart that Xiaohu did. Everyone is going to be like, oh, Xiaohu, what are you doing? Taking this aggressive trade? He just got rid of the Ornn ult right before Dragon fight. That's all that Ornn really offers in these fights right now, and trying to set up for this front-to-back fight for BLG. But without that, Xiaohu is going to have much more impact in these team fights. And when you get down towards this scrap that you're going to see here, Yeah, you get the TP in from Orn, but it doesn't matter. Dwayne, that was gorgeous. All right, Mark, you're off the team. That's it. I'm putting all my eggs in the Dwayne basket. That was so nice. But again here, Dwayne gets the stopwatch, pulls way in. Unfortunately, the fight has already gone askew, so even when you get BU in here, you see his health bar. He's got no Orn ultimate to contribute. He's got nothing that he can really bring to the table. And RNG are just able to chase them down. So, unfortunately for BLG, despite the nice plays that are coming out from the bottom lane, there's just not really much happening with the rest of the team.
Definitely feeling good for Dre though, in terms of his debut performance. He's looking for day 24. That's all I'm saying. He wants to stay on this roster. Very much a GME kind of situation down in this bottom lane. I would hold if you've got stocks in Dway right now. But Crying's going to be... Oh, missed the blue buff. There we go. Crying going to get himself the blue buff as he returns to the mid lane. We'll be able to shove out. I want to revisit the gold, though, because RNG are starting to get themselves a little bit of a lead here. Back to 3,000. Now in their favor, they've got 2 Drakes as well. Whenever we talk about scaling, we have to kind of visit that in context. Because BLG, how far behind can they actually fall and this scaling option still be a significant win condition? Well, if aiming goes down, it's going to be very far away. In comes Way, flying from the skies, the Haymaker with an Iron Spike whip to finish it off. Joy underneath the tower, dodges away from the Comet Spear, nicely done there. But aiming goes down, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, and the issue is, look at where Meteor's positioned. He's not even able to like run up towards Rift Herald and try and trade this. They're top side.
BB's in trouble, actually. He's real low on HP, but he's got the Orn combo! This is what I talked about, and Bew gets the solo kill.
Bew gives Xiaohu the boo-boo as he goes down in the top lane. Nicely played from the Orn, and Xiaohu not respecting just how much damage this Orn can toss out. Mid lane, though, Crying will manage to answer for his turret. But at least it's something back for the BLG side.
And, you know, you complimented Xiaohu for baiting out the Ornal last time. This wasn't a bait. This was just a straight-up kill. Ming now started to fight. Has the Haymaker to keep himself alive as the rest of the squad starts to arrive. And as quickly as it begins, the fight ends. This is going to be the bot lane tower now for RNG. That's the second tower already, and they are starting to snowball.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit too little too late now for Meteor to put his attention towards his bottom side. If maybe you'd been able to do it off of the first initial clears before you started to get Gala up and rolling, you would have been in a good shape. But now, Evolve Q already completed with the Gale Force and the Serena Dirk picked up. You've got the double Gore Drinkers as well picked up on RNG. Like, there's just no stopping these guys. And unfortunately for them, you can see this double kill beautifully set up by Ming. Thanks to, well, not the double kill, but a solo kill anyway set up as Way just flies on in. And now they can turn this attention towards this top side. Rift Turtle is still there for another few moments. You can see Ming has been unlocked from the bottom side as well to go up here. And that's going to be used on tier 2 towers rather than tier 1s because Xiaohu's been chipping away at this top side turret the whole time.
And one of the things that you can look at on the scoreboard right now that tells you that RNG aren't really looking for a long game where they have to match BLG's scaling is the AD carry items. Gala, he could go for a Kraken Slayer. He could try and go front to back, try and deal with Meteor and Bew. But no, he's going Gale Force. This guy is playing to assassinate. He's looking to remove aiming and Zika from these fights.
And I mean, you can literally just keep this snowball rolling as he talked about. You can now look towards fights at Rift Herald. Fantastic. 20 seconds until this dragon. Cool. Let's just go and try and find a fight there. Now, BLG are actually amassing in the area, but this is giving Xiaohu a lot of time in the split push. His TP is nearly up, and you've got enough with RNG where you can actually probably give up this dragon, not really worry too much about trying to get towards Soul, and instead use this to get towers, which are going to be more valuable in the long run than a Cloud Soul would.
Yeah, BLG just going to go for the Cloud Drake. I don't think that this is a particularly good trade for BLG. They are going to get themselves 25 gold and a little bit of ult CDR for themselves, but that doesn't seem worth a tier 2 in the top side. Xiaohu manages to crack that one down. In the meantime, Wei also is going to get a Rift Herald. They can now send Xiaohu towards the bottom side if they want that split pressure. And Baron's coming up pretty shortly, Dagda. And I wouldn't put it past RNG to try and just brute force that, because they're 7,000 gold up.
Like, well, this is the beauty now, and why I love Wei on this Pantheon, especially when they're trying to play split push with Xiaohu. you've got this global ult on way that can just join in Xiaohu. So stick Xiaohu in that bottom lane. He'll start to push in nice and as you like. And then if he's ever under any pressure, just get way to the bottom side. He's even got the Rift Herald there. So you either put the Rift Herald mid, or you make the play bot side, get the tower, then put the Rift Herald mid. It's just this beautiful, hey, we got you if you do, we got you if you don't.
And this is exactly what we were talking about with RNG, right? Is this they're strategically sound. They're not one of these, you know, LPL has a bit of a reputation for fiestas, I think it's fair to say. RNG is not a fiesta team. This is a team that comes in with clear win conditions and executes on those win conditions. This is a perfect example of that. They're not just forcing fights because they're bored. They're playing correctly to their comp. It's just beautiful to watch.
It really is. And I was an RNG fan before I came over to the LPL, and it really started to slip away from me when I was just watching them all of last year really struggle without Uzi. It's so good to see this team
a
now
real
back
fan. A real fan supports in the hard times and the good times. Yeah. I don't know how much of a fan you were if it was slipping away.
But yeah, it was heartbreaking to see, especially as like the organization's been around for so damn long as well, and seeing the likes of Xiaohu, where we expected him to step up and kind of carry the mantle and be the new veteran for this roster since Uzi was gone, and never really came to fruition last year. But it turns out all he needed to do was just move to top lane, where apparently that's the solution to all of RNG's problems.
I will say, in this game specifically, Xiaohu did get solo killed by an AWP. So
true.
I'm going to hold off on the Xiaohu praise, at least for this game, just because, you know, you got to respect the Ornn combo. Everyone knows about the Ornn combo. Let's not pretend Xiaohu doesn't know the Ornn combo.
Yeah.
He should not have died there. But ultimately, he's still 40 CS up. He did get the tier 2 on the top side. RNG very clearly playing towards this win condition in the side lane pressure that this Gnar can bring to the table.
Yeah, and you can see them acting it now, right? You're pushing in, you're getting vision control, you're denying the opportunity for BLG to figure out how they're moving as Come on.
He's like, look, I know you're here, guys, but I've got an item to upgrade, so if you just give me a moment, let me finish blacksmithing real quick. This will be the tower, and maybe a little bit more, because Xiaohu looks like he's sticking around, at least for now, as he's just going to go on to BuBu. With Bellow's Breath on cooldown, BuBu does not have any kind of kill threat, and not to mention the gold lead that Xiaohu has for himself. They get another charge. Wei is here, but they have to back away. They have to respect the roam from the rest of the BLG squad.
Yeah, unfortunate Mega Gnar timing there for Xiaohu. Would have loved to be Mini Gnar and maybe chip away at that turret, but you can see BLG, they're drawn all over the map. How do they protect bot? Well, they send everyone there, apparently.
Flash from Xiaohu to dodge the knockup. And that is going to be that. They managed to walk away from this one. So, tier 2 for nothing in favor of RNG. There's one tier 2 remaining on the map. We're getting towards 23 minutes on the clock. I want to revisit that same topic once more, Dagda. Talk to me about scaling. How far away is the dream for BLG? Does it still exist?
I think it's a bit far off at this stage. I mean, you've just completed the second item for aiming. He's still going to need 3,200 gold before he gets up towards the Infinity Edge. That's a long, long time. You're looking at probably like 28, 30 minutes before he finishes that on a good day. And right now, RNG are not giving you that opportunity. You've got a very weakened bot side inhibitor turret. They're pushing in now, knowing you've got to defend that to get vision control towards Baron. And this is what RNG do best. They will just take these Barons on a dime because they know that their composition's good for it.
Yeah, they're more than happy to just take a Baron on a Yuan, if you will.
I felt I was way more excited about that play than you were.
I've seen this before. RNG have been.
This is the thing from like an analytical point of view. This is great.
I don't get to see much team fighting here, Doctor. That makes me sad. I just want to watch them brawl, and they're not
think
brawling.
Of the brain. Use the 5-head plays that RNG have. They've got Baron. They're now pushing top lane with Xiaohu. You're on the opposite side of the map with BLG because they think they need the bloody dragon, but they're going to lose their base.
From an analytical perspective, this is appalling from BLG because you've got an in-hip tower being taken.
They got RNG.
You got a mid tower being taken. Everything is being taken from RNG. I can't get excited about this because this is BLG watching the game be ripped from their hands and doing nothing about it. Here we go. Maybe this is something. No, he misses everyone. BuBu can't get the ult. Xiaohu now waiting for his big Mega Gnar ult into the wall. It's only going to be on Biu as RNG disengage, because it's the smart thing to do. Why would you fight? You know? Why would you give me any entertainment?
But it's all about the brains. It's all about the split push. It's all about Xiaohu. It's all about picking off Shui and making sure that as a play-by-play, you can't see it because it was off screen.
Okay, I will stop being silly now. Obviously, it's not about fighting, it's about winning. This is a team that's at the top of the standings. They've not got a singular serious loss on the scoreboard just yet, and they are going to play as perfectly as they can to maintain that record. Bear in mind, they have to face up against EDG at some point in these standings, and they're going to be wanting to maintain that win streak until they do, and want to go in as strong as possible when they're against those tougher opponents.
I think one of the big things for BLG, kind of looking at game 2, is making sure that you're not giving the Pantheon a cross, because you can see how strong Wei is, and even though he's got, like, he's down in CS, he's probably, honestly, up in gold, like, which is kind of the story that we were telling of Wei coming into this. He's more so about playing around his lanes, getting them set up for success, and playing this split push style. And when they're going to organize this with Xiaohu, having a global ultimate on a champion that can join in cross map, like, very heavy pressure in these early stages. Like, it's just perfect champion for RNG.
I'm just waiting for the Pantheon ban next game, and then immediately Talia locked in by Wei, so he can essentially do the same thing but AP and a mage instead of a bruiser. Here we go, RNG now with this Baron for 20 more seconds, but that should be ample time to grab themselves a mid lane inhib and a shockwave to boot onto Zika here. Good disengage from Biu though, and a Moonlight Vigil means that BLG actually get the first kill of the fight. Inhib hasn't gone down just yet, but Wei is quite happy to start off a 4v4. Biu taken exceptionally low. Xiaohu about to turn into Mega Gnar. They have to back away from this one. RNG get to move to the top side as well. Gala is here, so they have the damage. Shui takes a massive chunk from Cryan, walks away with his life, but Cryan flashes for the kill. Xiaohu jumps in, but he misses the ult. Wei trying to do what he can to zone people away. Xiaohu will be able to finish this inhibitor. And RNG, they look like they want to stay around. I don't think they can end the game right here.
No, but they've got what they've came for. 2 inhibitors down. The pressure still on that bottom side. And don't forget that is a slightly weakened bot lane tower as well, even with the regen. So RNG can spend that gold and start to work down that one as well. This is game over. I mean, there's nothing you can do as BLG. Like, you can see there, nearly getting that Infinity Edge completed for aiming, but it's way too late.
Yeah, and I do want to quickly revisit the topic of Jue as well. Obviously on the scoreboard, 0-5-3. It doesn't look good, right? But I do want to...
He's been really good.
I want to mention the fact that in the current meta, supports have to face check a lot. Like, it's his job to be the person that dies when someone on BLG has to die. So don't look at that scoreboard and just base your assumptions of this player's entire skill base off of this one scoreboard. Like, give this guy a chance to prove himself, because he had some good moments in the early game.
I'm actually a big fan of Jue after this game. I mean, we talked about the heads-up play he had early, where playing Ming in to get the extra damage, the hook onto Ming to try and force him away from Dragon. Even that hook in the last fight onto Ming set up the kill for aiming. Like, this guy has actually been on point, but unfortunately, BLG are too far behind. And when you're opting in towards this mega scaling composition...
Oh, crying. That is cheeky. Zika had his flash, but he gets caught out. Xiaohu goes into the backside. This is already over. In goes Set. CC onto everybody. And RNG just cleaning things up. It's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. If you just die less and kill more and take hold of the towers, that's how you win at League of Legends. And RNG are the masters of exactly that strategy. Nexus goes down, and RNG continue their streak for now, 1-0.
Dominant performance from RNG. I mean, BLG, they went for scaling. They tried to find some way of keeping RNG in check, but they're just so damn clean. These early games from Wei, figuring out what the enemy jungler is up to,